I feel a warmth in my heart and my soul that
Woke up this morning. Yeah. You got yourself a gun.
Yeah. Thank you to my teammates. Thank you to the fans, to my family, to my friends, everybody for their support.
You cannot let me arrest you and keep the gun, man.
Speaking on what's going on out the court with me, there would be no comment, speaking on that. If you got any questions, anything dealing with that, speak with my lawyer.
Okay, now give me that gun. No.
This is Sports Central with Joe D and John Franchini on WICR.
And if you missed our first segment on the New York Knicks and Raymond Felton, well, let me just tell you, he's got himself a gun, and make sure you tune in. The link should be posted shortly after the show. But moving on to our second topic of the night, the better New York basketball team this season thus far, the Brooklyn Nets, who will be back in action this evening as they take on the number one offense in the NBA of the Portland Trailblazers. But before they get into that, they made some serious headlines Sunday where Jason Collins became the first openly gay NBA player.
Any sport.
In any sport, who suited up, played just over 10 minutes, wasn't really that productive.
5 fouls.
5 fouls, yeah. I mean, he was productive in that category. He does love fouling people. He did say that in his press conference.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was excited to go out there and foul people. That's exactly what he said.
Well.
Yes, talk about something. But not very productive. A couple rebounds, a few steals, but definitely he was excited to be back on the court, and the Nets are very grateful and embracing him and welcoming him to the team.
Yeah, he got a good ovation too from the Laker fans. I think that was a good showing from the Staples Center crowd. I think that this is a sensitive subject, really, really, really sensitive. But it was also a really historic moment too. Think about that. Like he's the Jackie Robinson of gay athletes.
Yeah,
think about it.
In a sense, you're right.
And I thought it was a pretty historic moment watching it, and from the people that I was around during the time, they were actually anxious to get to a television set just to see him check in the game.
And here's another big step in the sports world in terms of the gay athlete and the locker room situation where we had Michael Sam come out. Now Jason Collins, who had already come out, but a team didn't bring him in or anything like that. So it's just another.
He had just gotten released or something like that.
Yeah, it's just another step moving forward for the gay community and their relations in terms of professional sports. And then the Nets also brought in Marcus Thornton at the trade deadline, who still hasn't been able to play because he was nursing a stomach virus. I think he had I believe it was food poisoning.
Hey, that's not even something to play with. I mean, that is
food poisoning from, I think it was lobster ravioli. Something.
Wait, they said
something strange like that. I mean, it sounds delicious. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely seems like something.
Doesn't sound delicious if you got food.
Well, no, it doesn't sound delicious if you got food poisoning from it. But I mean, if it was like non-poisoned.
Oh, they're good. My hometown food. Good. Giving you food poisoning. Welcome to Brooklyn. Welcome to Brooklyn, Joe.
No. It happened in Sacramento. It was before, so maybe it was a parting gift.
Oh, gotcha.
Like
yeah.
It happened before you came to.
You done with the Kings? Good. Goodbye.
Maybe something like that. That's terrible. We can't say that. That's awful. I hope that wasn't the case. But here's a Nets team who's currently sitting in 6th in the East. Turning things around. Deron Williams, who was battling injuries all season, is definitely playing at a higher level these past 4 games. He's averaging over 30-plus minutes a game, which is definitely a positive compared to how he was checking in and out.
Yeah, he's getting his assists up, too. That's a big thing.
So, and he's scoring. I mean, I think he's had 2 20-plus games in the last 4.
Yes.
So he's definitely stepping it up, and that's a great sign for the Brooklyn Nets.
Against the Lakers, he had about what was it, 27 points? I think he had a career high 6 or 7 steals.
Him
9 assists.
Him playing at a higher level, facilitating the ball, makes the Nets a serious, a dangerous team.
I don't know, but they need Brook Lopez to be a serious threat.
I still
don't think they're a serious threat.
I don't think they're a serious threat because they're missing that factor.
They're old.
But at the same time, in a weak East, they can be somewhat of a a team to.
They could get out of the first round, but I mean they're still old.
Yeah, they're old. But they could get into maybe the second round.
Yeah, I think so too. No, I agree, but honestly, I don't think it's a threat really. To me, this is how I look at the East.
Not a threat, but as a 6 seed, I could see them upsetting Toronto with no problem.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
as long as they stay within that 3 to 6 range, they're making it out of the first round.
And I use that term upset loosely. You should use that term upset loosely because really,
it's not an upset. I know.
It's
if you look
statistically,
at
it is.
Standing wise, statistically
3 to
wise,
6, it is.
That's an upset. But I know what you
skill wise.
Skill wise, it's another story.
Garnett's over the hill. Pierce is over the hill. Lopez is always hurt. Deron Williams, being in shape, has been questioned. Really, his injuries have been questioned. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think you're right. If they get everything back on track, and they're looking like a better team than they did early in the season when they look atrocious. And I think Jason Kidd is not off. He's not on the hot seat like he was earlier. I think if he makes the playoffs, how could you?
I mean, but did you really expect a player who was on the court last year playing be able to come in here and coach after one not even a year of sitting out directly
a week?
The following year, he's a coach. I mean, you can't expect Kidd to go in there and be like a mastermind and start. Yeah. It wasn't like he inherited amazing basketball players. He inherited good basketball players when they were all in their prime, and I'm talking Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Williams. Obviously, still
he's in his prime.
Brook Lopez injured, still in his prime.
I think Brook Lopez hasn't even entered this prime. He's just about to enter into the prime of his career. I think that Darren Williams, he should be producing a lot more than what he has with the Nets.
You know what? But here's the thing: he should be, but at the same time, he's been banged up, and it's not that easy to do.
Not everybody's a great.
But at the same time, it's not that easy to produce when you're not at your highest potential in terms of health.
Right, but I mean, it's his responsibility. I think that's an example of how it's him being out of shape. I don't think he was in total playing condition. I don't think he was in great shape. He was a little bit overweight.
He did look a little heavier, but at the same time, he's having
ankle problems.
At the same time, that's hard to judge. We don't really know what's going on in there, but at the same time, he is. It seems like he's turning it around in the second half of the season, which is definitely a plus for them. But at the same time, you also have some other Eastern Conference teams who are, trying to pick it up. The Washington Wizards,
I'm a fan of the Wizards.
You would have never thought we'd be talking Wizards basketball in February, because quite frankly, for the past few years, already in the month of February, the Wizards were considered long way gone. Forget it.
Well,
let's build for next season.
The only Wizards basketball we would be talking about is who they're going to draft with the first overall pick.
Exactly. So now that they're actually winning, they're playing well. It seems like they're attracting a lot more people in that stadium, which for the most part seemed always empty. So it's definitely a good sign for the people in Washington that they get to see some good basketball, because they haven't in a while.
And
No, I don't know. So you tell me. Let's hear it.
You know what, Joe?
You said, "Do I know?"
I'm trying not to stir cause a little bit of a debate here.
But
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, yes.
He's from the state of Washington.
Okay.
Well, he's from the area of Virginia, Washington, D.C.
The state of Washington.
City of Washington
is on the West Coast.
You know what I meant? The city, Washington,
D.C.
D.C., Virginia.
He's from the D.C. area.
Yeah, he's in the D.C., Virginia, Maryland area.
Okay.
Where all they produce these basketball players, such as Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant.
Okay. All right.
And there has been rumors that he would be a good fit with the Washington Wizards, and is intrigued about it.
Wow.
Can you blame him? To be honest, you can make the argument that the Washington Wizards are a more attractive destination than the New York Knicks are, as far as free agents go.
Oh, that is 100% true. I don't think a free agent is even thinking about New York, and if they are, they're thinking Brooklyn.
Because when it comes to as far as the 2015 free agent class, everybody's talking about free agents. I think that the Brooklyn Nets are a more attractive destination in the city than the New York Knicks are right now, because the Knicks are a mess.
Well, unless you're a player and you want to have a gun on you and be fine, be able to come to practice and play.
You're really hating on Raymond Felton right now.
Absolutely, and I have every right to.
We're getting off topic.
You did that to me. That's your fault.
keep in order here.
All right.
All right.
So continue.
So
You wanna
I feel
keep-
that don't knock the Wizards because I'm a fan of their player.
I'm not knocking the Wizards. They have it. I'm glad to finally see. You hate to see teams constantly stink, but after a while, when they build up these picks, they build up this talent, and they come together as a unit. That's encouraging. That makes it not be as bad when the team you're cheering for
Right.
stinks. So you hope that they could turn something around.
I thought you were knocking the Wizards there for a second.
No,
so
no,
I wanted to stop you right where you were.
No, not knocking the Wizards. Big John Wall fan.
I'm a fan of Beal and Wall.
Beal is
Building
tremendous.
something nice, and I think the Nets are going to improve next year. By the way, going back to the Nets, I think Jason Collins won't be on the team next year. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't
think this is
think. I
just
think
a-
that's a short-term
this is a
stand.
short-term thing.
Yeah, who knows if
Garnett-
he'll even be there next month. I mean,
I think Garnett is going to retire. If I can make a prediction right now, I think he's going to retire.
The Nets are going to need a bunch of young pieces before they could get themselves going again. I mean, Williams and Joe Johnson help, but think about how old's Joe Johnson? He's got to be
33, 34.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty old too. So Williams,
But he's
Right,
still
Brook
he's the best player this year.
Here's the thing: having a center like Brook Lopez makes you a better team because they're hard to
When
find.
he's on the floor.
Centers are hard to find.
Yeah, he's got to be on the floor, Joe.
Yeah, he's got to be on the floor. I'd rather have Brook Lopez than Tyson Chandler, so don't even try to have this debate. Exactly, silence. That's what I thought. Because at least,
Tyson Chandler's on the floor, Joe.
oh yeah, big deal. Swatting rebounds back. That's about the only thing this guy could do is swat a rebound
He's a
back.
better defensive player than Brook Lopez.
Okay, but Brook Lopez brings it on the boards and scores points. Where if you the only thing Tyson Chandler can do is catch an alley-oop, and if he doesn't do that, forget it.
Yeah, but you're right. But I think
I know I'm right.
Joe,
I know.
they're two different players, Joe.
And I'd take Brook Lopez
They're
any
two
day of the
different.
week.
They're two different
and I'd
players.
take Lopez any day of the week.
I agree with you, but
Thank you.
I'm saying they're two different players. They have two different jobs and two different teams.
Well, technically they have the same job. They're both centers.
As far as the scheming of the offense and the
one
defense.
produces more than the other, which makes the other.
Tyson Chandler's only job on the Knicks to set pick and rolls, catch alley oops, right?
That sounds terrible. So then why don't you just sign the tallest possible freakish athlete, who's probably 7'6" in the D League right now, who's lanky and
Right,
and
but that's
goofy.
why Brook Lopez is a better player than Tyson Chandler.
Exactly, he is. All right, good. As long as we agree on that one, so.
But I think Brook Lopez's success on the offensive end makes him better rather than defensive end.
Oh,
Although,
yes.
Although he can block shots pretty
He
well.
can block shots and he can rebound, so he gets the job
Nah,
done.
I don't think he can rebound as well as Tyson Chandler.
Not as well, but he does. He gets his job done on both sides of the ball. Whereas Tyson Chandler is one-dimensional.
6 rebounds a night for a 7-foot center isn't the end of the job.
Yeah, but when he gives you 3 blocks and 25 points, I'd take that instead of 13 rebounds, and that's about it.
All right. I mean, I hope the opposing center doesn't have 26 points.
Odds are there that ain't happening
Unless he's
because
Dwight Howard.
unless he's Dwight Howard, because like I said, centers aren't easy to find in the NBA.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lost art. Being a good center in the NBA is lost.
Nah, it's a shame. But if Joel Embiid comes out of Kansas, he may be that next big center type.
I hope. I love centers. I'm a big fan of centers in the NBA.
I think if you have a strong center, your team is just becomes so much better. It's unbelievable because now you're forcing the defense to pull off a double team, maybe even a triple team in some situations. And as long as you could have shooters standing behind the 3-point line, even a pull up too. I mean, it's easy. It could be easy points and high scoring potential.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Definitely. I mean, look at the championship teams. They all had great centers. Olajuwon, Shaq. Although the Heat didn't have a good center, but I'm just saying.
But in terms of the
Duncan,
Heat, they've had
two freaks,
yeah.
two of the best, top 50 players of all time. But as far as going back to the Nets, just for another second, but you want to wrap it up for the break. The Nets, I think that next year they're going to improve, and maybe Jason Kidd might find himself in the running for Coach of the Year.
Hey, good possibility, but
I think they're going to improve a lot next year.
I could see them finishing off before next year, though. I could see them finishing off at least 5 to 6 games over 500, and maybe at that
This year.
Yeah, maybe at that 3 or 4.
They'll come on
seed.
strong. I think they're going to come on strong, and Kidd is he's getting into his comfort zone.
Absolutely. We're going to take our final break of the evening, and then we'll head to the MLB and some spring training news.
I want